Relationship Lessons from Wakanda, Part 2. Talking about Nakia. This is the Joyfully Married After Podcast, episode 23. This is Joyfully Married After with Heath and Tracy. I'm Heath.
And I'm Tracy.
We're joyfully married after how many years, baby?
26.
26 years, 4 kids, corporate jobs, entrepreneurs, and this podcast is our view on life through our lens.
Let's go.
Talking about Nakia today, baby.
Oh, we talked about T'Challa on the last episode.
We did.
And now we're talking about Nakia and relationship lessons from Wakanda.
Yes. Let's jump into it. You know, one thing that Lupita Nyong'o really brought to this role, it was just amazing to see her in action on the big screen. But what really came across to me initially with Nakia was her intelligence. How worldly she was. She knew the issues. She was all about community, and she was active and about it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed her character quite a bit. It was a departure from the typical non-superhero woman in these movies. Yep. I think Marvel does a good job depicting women most of the time from a strength point of view.
Right.
And I just think that was probably one of my favorite parts of this movie is the way they depicted women. And Lupita, probably that's the first time I've seen her act, a lot. Like I know she has some other movies I haven't seen, but as far as the full length and a larger part, I enjoyed her.
Yeah,
she's skillful. The walk, honey.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that later though.
She did a masterful job with that. The next thing that really jumped out at me was how beautiful she was in terms of just her presence and her presentation, flawless. The makeup, the hair, the outfit, her being very active and agile, athletic, the best possible shape, so translating that to today's world, right? The best possible shape, the best version of yourself is what you want to go to.
Why don't we just say she was perfect? My gosh.
Is that what I said?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay.
So, the essence of her character just came across. She was regal. Yep. She was strong. She was intelligent. Yep. She was beautiful. The walk, she was elegant. It was amazing.
Right.
Her depiction of Nakia. I think it's Lupita too,
absolutely.
To be honest with you.
Absolutely.
But
the Lupita bled through the Nakia.
Yeah, I think it did. But yeah, I think we need to probably drag this out a little bit more because I think women get to a point where in their lives where they think I'm working on this or I'm so involved in that and I don't have time.
Right.
I don't have time. And I get that question a lot. How do you have time to continue to look good?
Right.
I'm sorry, ladies. It takes longer for me to get dressed than it does my husband.
Right.
There is more to do. There's more to do on a daily basis.
Right.
I mean, I just look at my bath cabinet and the products I have to put on my face and my hair and everything. It's just more. And I think it just takes more effort to look that way. I think about all the people, and how they look in Hollywood. And it's just like, they don't look like that with just some regular, Vaseline and Crest toothpaste. They just don't.
She said Vaseline. That's old school right there.
That's old school. But they got a lot of product. They got a lot of, people working on how they look. And I know that's what we're looking at on the screen.
Right.
But I think when you pull it back to the reality of our everyday busy lives with husbands and kids, I think we have to make an effort. And another thing, ladies, when you see another woman with her hair done or her nails done or something, tell her that looks good. That I like that.
Okay.
You make that look good. Please, we have got to open our mouths and tell one another how wonderful we look.
Build them up.
Because there's so many other images of us out here. And that's the other thing. The image of her as a beautiful woman was just on point. Yep. Because there's so many what's the word I want to use? I can't remember. It's getting late.
Negative images?
Yeah, not negative, but distorted.
Stereotypes?
Distorted images of what a beautiful woman is.
Okay, yeah. I see the
and
word
it's
you use
really messed with men.
Right.
And I say distorted. It's your choice what you do to your body.
Sure.
But I think the depiction of Nakia is one of perfection without all of that.
Right, right, right.
And it's something we need to take note of that.
Yeah.
We are beautiful no matter how big you are, no matter how small you are. There is something beautiful about you.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that was the thing that jumped out at me. Yeah, that was the thing that jumped out at me, right? Was just that even though she was gorgeous and all of those things, she obviously was the best version of her, right? So I think that was really what stood out for me, that she was on point in every way that she could. She was the best version of herself. And so that's sort of the takeaway that I thought about when I was jotting these notes down, is that it's not about being perfect, but it's about being the best version of you. So the next thing that jumped out at me, baby, was that she knew the dude liked her, talking about King T'Challa, the Black Panther. She knew the dude liked him, right? But that she was so focused on what she was doing, she wasn't fawning and falling all over him and putting everything else on hold and trying to see what he was doing and that kind of thing, right?
She didn't stop what she was doing. She didn't break her date with a girlfriend.
Right.
She
was
didn't
doing her thing.
She was doing her thing.
Yeah.
I think she knew how he felt, and she knew what he had to do.
Right.
But what I loved about her was, even though she wasn't exactly interested in it at the time, she still supported him.
She did, yes.
She still consoled him. She was not afraid. She didn't cut him off.
Right.
She didn't, give him the side. What do you call it? She didn't give him the hand.
The Heisman.
She didn't do any of that. She told him very simply, if I be queen, if I want to be queen,
right,
you know, I know. That's what she was telling. I know.
So
it was very woman. It was very mature of her. I want to use that word.
It was. They both had brought a lot of maturity to their roles and to how it came across on the screen.
And you think about that these days, ladies. Just because a guy is showing interest in you and you're not quite ready, you don't have to act stupid. You don't have to be all out of sorts and, insult him or not pay him any attention.
Yeah.
You can be respectful and still do your thing.
Right.
You can be very respectful, still do your thing. The key is to do your thing without being disrespectful. And I think Nakia's character handled that well.
Absolutely. Have a mature conversation, keep it moving.
Right.
I like it. So another thing that was one of the things that I really loved about Nakia's character was how respectful she was. Well, let me back up. So her spiritual game was in order, right? And there was a scene in the movie when she had to really go there. She was with T'Challa's mom and her sister, and they were, really trying to help him come back. And she had to kind of tap into her spiritual piece, and that was the side of her that we had not seen.
Oh, when he was in the snow when M'Baku found him. Oh, okay, yeah.
So that was a piece that we had not seen. We had seen her strength and her beauty and her regality and those kinds of things up until that point.
Yeah.
But that was something that jumped out at me, was that she did have her spiritual game in order. But that sort of dovetails into the next piece that I wanted to bring out, was how respectful she was to T'Challa's mom, and how thoughtful she was to his mom when the father had died, the king had died, and she was just so gracious. And I'm so sorry, for your loss, and she gave the reverence to her mom, and how cool she was with his sister.
Yeah, it was. And I think that speaks to supporting your significant other's people. Yeah. It's not about competing with them for their time. It's not about not understanding whatever they're going through. It's just about support. Just think of that word. Think about supporting your spouse. Think about supporting your fiance. Sure. That's what you want to think about. Yep. Don't think about that family member and what you may feel about them. You want to think about the fact that I need to support my man. Yep. I need to support my woman. When Heath and I first got married, I wasn't, it wasn't all peaches and cream for me at the beginning with his family. But the way I treated it was, I'm here for Heath. So whatever he needs me to do, whether you like it or not, whether you're going to accept me or not right now, whatever, I'm doing it for him. And when you remove yourself from it, you can be gracious like that. She didn't have any problems with the queen or the princess, but what she felt was respect for them because of her love for him.
Right.
I think that's what you're talking about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So this one may or may not be a little controversial, but the point that
Controversy.
the point that I wanted.
Controversy. Controversy. That was our song for the day, guys.
There you go. There you go. I always got to get a little music in there. The fact that she didn't use any foul language, right? And so
my husband really likes this one because I can have a potty mouth.
So this was something that jumped out at me, and I know that the movie was
It's Disney.
The movie was Disney. It was PG or PG-13 or whatever it was. And so, but what I loved about the movie was that I could watch the movie with you. If I had my children or grandchildren with me, I could watch the movie with them.
Yeah.
And the depiction of her grace and elegance matched with a mouth that was the same.
He just want to say this, y'all.
Okay. And so for me, that was something that's always resonated with me. And I assume maybe because my mother didn't use a lot of profanity in her daily life.
Right.
And so this was something that really caught my eye and caught my ear, was just because when you have a mouth like a sailor, to me, it takes away from the beauty of the woman.
Yeah, it does.
And so just a reminder for folks, and I know that as we get more and more casual in society and people have certain dialogue and dialects and the way that things are acceptable to say and how you say it and that kind of thing. For me, the depiction of this royal, regal, classy, spectacular character that Lupita Nyong'o played in Nakia was even more beautiful for me because she didn't have a potty mouth.
Okay, message received.
That's my rant. Another thing I wanted to touch on, baby, was that she consciously or subconsciously made the dude chase her.
You think so?
Yes. And so
okay,
I
wait,
think
wait. How do you...
because she was about her business. It was really interesting. Now, both of them were really about their business.
Yes.
They had other things going on. The central, there was the tension that they had between them, the positive tension that they had between them. But they were not all about, okay, I got to get with you. I got to get when we're going to hook up over here and that kind of thing, right? It was really about, hey, this is important to me. I'm doing this. T'Challa was, hey, this is important to me. I'm doing this. But he was letting her know, hey, but I am.
You could be queen.
Very interested in you being queen. And she was basically saying to him, I know that. However, I got some other stuff I'm doing.
Right.
So therefore, that caused him to have to continue to chase her, to drop hints, to pursue her in a way where it
appeased her.
Right, right.
Because at the end, he was like, I think I figured out a way for you to do both.
Yeah. Yeah.
He had to figure that out.
So just the concept of the old school hard to get, right? Not that she was playing games with him
not at all.
Being untruthful
right.
or that kind of thing. It was just more of, hey, you really gonna have to put some work in.
It's attractive, ladies. Let's be honest.
Right.
If you are a boss babe, a real one, if you are getting things done, if you are excelling in your dreams, in your career, in some type of way, it's attractive.
Yep.
I think men feel like it's a strength because we add to men. So when we add to them, they want to know what you're going to bring to the table other than just a booty.
Right. Right.
Ooh, I said that.
I think we'll allow that in the podcast.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's true. I think that in that, in all of the things that she brought to the table, the next point I wanted to make was that he could really see the value in what she would bring to him and to everything that he was already about. Right? So it's sort of like that song you like.
Okay, say that again.
So I think that because of who Nakia was, because of how she was, because of the class, the elegance, the intelligence, her being worldly, knowing the issues, being about community,
Mm-hmm.
being active, being bout it, as my man used to say back in the day. The point is that the King T'Challa could see clearly what she could bring to him, what value she could bring to a relationship where they would
so
be
he saw
joining
what
together.
she could add.
He saw what she could add.
What you gonna add to me? What you gonna add to me? Hey,
You like
what
that
you
one.
gonna add to me?
You like that one, baby. And so it was very evident to him that he could see that. Another thing I wanted to bring out was
y'all see how he just rattling off all this stuff he liked about Nakia.
what is that? This is a talk about Nakia and relationships from Wakanda.
Go ahead.
So we're focusing on relationship lessons, right? Trying to extrapolate lessons that we could, in fact, see in the movie, demonstrated by the two main characters.
I know. I'm just funny.
So why are you funny with me, though?
Because you ain't stopped.
Well, how am I supposed to stop?
I'm just saying.
I'm doing a
I was talking
podcast.
a lot more when we were talking about T'Challa.
I'm doing a podcast.
Yeah. Go ahead, baby.
Oh my gosh. So the last couple of points that I wanted to make was that she was, at the end of the movie, she made the man better, right? And the other
he wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for her.
right.
Is that what you mean?
So let me make that point first. Then she almost lost him.
Yes.
And she came to her, that caused her to come to her senses. So the point that I wanted to extrapolate for women was that if he expresses interest,
right,
if he fits into your world,
okay,
don't ignore him.
No, that is so good, baby. That is so good. We have a tendency to ignore the dude that doesn't fit everything perfectly. Mm-hmm. He's not tall enough. He's not dark enough. He's not light enough. He's not rich enough. He's not thuggish enough. He's not clean cut enough. He's not Christian enough. He's too Christian. We have a tendency to label a dude real quick and cut him off real quick. Mm-hmm, now, if you're not attracted to somebody,
right,
that's different. That's not what I'm saying.
Sure.
But it's still, at the same time, don't completely cut people off that are gunning for you sincerely.
Right.
And with love.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Because that might be your person.
Right. Right. And that's what she discovered when she almost lost him, was like, oh,
I'm tripping.
I've been clowning.
Yes.
This is my man and I love him.
Yes.
So now she's all about it.
Yeah, she was. I just, and I think the second time I saw the movie, I was trying to figure out how she knew to go pick the herb. And it was because she was listening to Killmonger after he woke up and everything. And she heard him say, burn it all. And she hurried up and grabbed some.
Right.
That's what happened.
Yep.
Because I couldn't remember. How does she know to do that?
But at the end of the day, the last point I wanted to make was that because she was this complete person, because she was about her business, because she was the best version of herself, because she was well read, and because she was active and she had her own agenda and she was about community and she had the wherewithal to be the very best version of herself and thus become a fantastic catch, she was a whole person. And when she joined, when they
joined together,
essentially when they
were
joined
adding
together,
to one another.
They were making one another better.
Yeah, that's what you want in a relationship. Yeah. You want to look at the other person and see what are they making me better in some way.
Right.
Are they pushing me closer to Christ?
Yep.
Are they pushing me closer to getting my career straight? Are they pushing me closer to eating properly? If they're making me better in some way, that's somebody you need to look at. That's not someone you need to sleep on.
Sure.
So that should be one of your first gauges.
Right.
Not how good they look, not what kind of place they took you out to eat, not what kind of car they drive or where they live or who they are. what do they add to you?
Right.
And this is male and female.
Yep.
If a woman ain't bringing nothing to you but her body
Mm-hmm.
and nothing else,
Mm-hmm.
you have nothing.
Right.
Because you can get a body from anywhere.
Yep.
You can get a face from anywhere.
Sure.
So if that's all the woman is bringing to you, you have nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You have nothing.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's all I have, baby. I think that
I was getting a little jealous there.
Relationship lessons from Wakanda has come to an end. We have extrapolated from T'Challa and now from Nakia, things that people can hopefully take from the movie, from some of these points that we've accentuated, and take them into their own lives and have better relationships, because that's what we're about.
And if you missed T'Challa's version, that's episode 22.
Check the last podcast. Thanks again for listening today, folks. If you liked any of what you heard, please like, comment, and subscribe to our podcast. Tell a friend, too. And you can engage us at heathentracy.com for all the goings-on in our world. Queen Tracy, speak to the people.
Bye, loves.